No closed session. We'll go to the land acknowledgement. We'd like to begin by acknowledging the land on which we gather today is the land traditionally used by the Anishinaabe, Haudenosaunee, and Chinooan people. We acknowledge the enduring presence and deep traditional knowledge and philosophies of the Indigenous peoples with whom we share this land today. Are there any declarations of pecuniary interest in accordance with the Municipal Conflict of Interest Act? Seeing none, no presentations. We're going to go right to no presentation, no public meeting, recreation. Then we're going to, and Shelley's not here. Who's got me too? Want me to do that? Yeah. Okay. Staff reports. The recommend report for 2026. Kitchen usage with the small hall motion required that the Council of the Township of Wellesley approve the kitchen access policy for small hall rentals at the Linwood Community Center for no additional fees as outlined in the attached policy. Have motion for that. Councillor Seven, second by Councillor Brick. And would the director like to bring that forward?
Sure, thanks, Mayor Nowak. The report before you is recommending allowing the limited use of the kitchen, including with the small hall rental in Linwood at no additional cost to the user. Currently, the kitchen use only comes with a full hall rental. This would allow for renters of the small hall to have access to the fridge, water, and cleaning supplies. Access to the oven and other cooking purposes will not be permitted unless the kitchen rental is paid for in full as per the fees and charges bylaw. Take any questions if there are any.
Questions? Councillor Seven.
Thanks, Danny. I just have one question, comment kind of thing. It says that food prep would not be allowed. So I think it's a fine line because food prep to me means taking it out of the fridge, cutting vegetables, whatever. So I'm not sure that food prep would be the right word. If you don't want them to use the appliances, maybe limit it to no use of the appliances, only because if they use the counter for cutting, I don't think they should be penalized for that unless they don't clean up, then charge them the 150 for not cleaning up after themselves. But I just think they should be allowed to use the countertop, basically.
And this doesn't allow for that, the way it's written.
Yeah, currently it does exclude food preparation, correct?
Okay. So I think, are there any other comments?
I'm assuming the food prep, not having food prep is because you have to send cleaners in after then?
Yes, Councillor Herget. Yeah, we have to send cleaners in afterwards, after each rental anyways. It's just the additional cleaning of the kitchen and the sanitation that has to happen in the kitchen after each rental for the health unit, because we get our kitchens inspected twice a year, so we have to keep up on top of that. So those are the additional costs that come with cleaning the kitchen.
Yeah, so it's kind of a fine line. If you want to change, I guess the proper procedure would be if you want to change the motion, you could ask for an amendment to that motion. And then that amendment would have to be voted on. And then the whole motion would have to be voted on. So you can do that. I think that would be the proper procedure. And the clerk can help you with that.
Can I just ask what everybody else thinks? Like, is it just me that thinks that you should be able to cut vegetables or whatever on a countertop, or is that pushing it? I don't know.
My opinion, if you're cutting vegetables, then you're using the garbage cans and those counters have to be sanitized, and you're either using the kitchen or you're not. Like, it's.
I tend to agree. But I understand where you're coming from.
I thought, and Danny, you can correct me if I'm wrong, when we talked about this, I thought it was the cost of the appliances, like using the appliances, the ovens and the potential for, food bubbling over and whatever, that kind of cleaning. I mean, there's really only one main countertop in that kitchen. I guess there is the back too.
Well, if you want to do procedurally, if you want to do an amendment, you can do that. If not, we can, there might be other questions on other issues to it for now. Okay, and then you can think about that.
Yeah, sounds good.
Any other questions, Councilor Brick?
Do we have numbers at all of how many groups use the hall but not the kit? Like how many groups this might affect or rentals it might affect?
I believe since the policies been, or since the fees and charges were approved, we had 6 rentals of the small hall that didn't include the kitchen.
And as a follow-up, with those rentals, was there a desire to use the kitchen maybe in this fashion? Or I'm just trying to figure out kind of how the space is getting used.
We did have some requests come in for a policy such as what I'm bringing forward. Yes.
Councilor Herget, you had a question? No?
Danny, just for clarification, so I think the whole issue around the kitchen was the cleaning aspect of it. And the discussion was then around using the fridge and getting access to water, cleaning supplies, that type of thing. So any food prep would lead to additional cleaning requirements, correct?
Correct. One way or another, that has to be cleaned. Yes.
And to try and determine minimal cleaning versus maximum cleaning, that's going to be a pretty slippery slope. So I'd just be a little cautious on that part. But the kitchen would still be available otherwise if someone did want it for either food prep or full food cooking for that kitchen fee, right?
Correct. Yes, it is allowed to be rented out at the time of the booking. To rent the hall along with the the kitchen along with the small hall.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? I do have one question. When I was reading through this, Danny, would it be wise to have the same policy at the Bill Geese Recreation Complex?
The only hall that this affects is in Linwood, because there's a small hall rental because we can split the hall in Linwood. At the Bill Geese Recreation Center, we don't have that. So the kitchen's included with the hall rental.
It's already included.
We're in Linwood. If the whole hall is rented, the kitchen is included.
Oh, okay. Good. Any other questions? Call the question. All in favor of the policy? And opposed? In favor or opposed? In favor. Okay. That's carried. F 2026. The recommendation that the Council of the Township of Wellesley approve the deferred motion from the February 26, 2026 Committee of the Whole meeting by approving the change in bylaw 332025 by revising the extra day setup fee structure for community centers such that the fee set at 50% of the applicable rate charged to the user group, and further, the council implement a last minute setup day fee for community center rentals permitting access after 6 p.m. on the day prior to the scheduled full day rental for a flat fee of $75, and further that the last minute setup fee be made available for booking only within 72 hours of the confirmed full day rental, subject to staff availability and facility readiness. Can I have a mover for that, please? Councillor Seven, second by Councillor Herget. Director will bring that forward.
Thanks again, Mayor Nowak. It's basically exactly as you read in the recommendation. This was to be requested from council to be brought back with looking at a rate for a last minute rental rate for the day before. So that's what this report brings forth. So it would be a $75 flat fee for the day before and only available 72 hours prior to the rental. That allows the opportunity for that if the hall would be to be rented for a full rate to another group the day before. That still allows that within 72 hours. That typically doesn't happen.
Hey, questions? Councillor Brick.
Maybe just one question or comment. I don't know if there's a way that when the group is booking it, will you offer this, like when the group is booking it, that if, I know it's a last minute thing, but if they say, hey, that event, we're interested in the last minute booking, so you guys know, it might be a way to like not lose your full day booking if it came, but have this on the radar ahead of time? Or is it like, we're not talking about this till 72 hours before?
The way that I'd look at it is it would be more in the latter, that if at the time of booking, they wanted to rent the hall, it would be at the 50% rate for the day before. And then if they called back within 72 hours, and we could definitely have staff relay that information, that if the hall is available 72 hours prior to, they can rent it for the reduced rate. But it's not something that I was recommending that staff be following up on. It would be on the users to follow up with staff.
Yes.
Yeah, and just to clarify on that piece, if they book it when they do their original booking for the day before, they can't come back within the 72 hours and ask for the reduced fee, because that would be outside the cancellation policy,
Correct.
right? So they would still be paying the full rate at that time. But the reason for it is you're guaranteed that hall availability if you book it early. But if you run the risk of waiting until the 72 hours, it may not be available.
Other questions? Call the question, all in favor? And that's carried unanimously. Planning and Development, Councillor Brick. Is there a director update for that? Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
yes,
Recreation first.
I'm sorry, I jumped ahead.
No problem. Thanks, Mayor Nowak. The ice is out at the Bill Gates Recreation Center. It came out on April the 14th. Sports fields have been rolled and aerated, with the opening of all sports fields scheduled for May the 4th. Ball hockey lines have been painted on the concrete pad at the Bill Gates Recreation Center for ball hockey summer leagues that begin on this coming Friday, May the 1st. Our summer students will be beginning on May 4th as well in the Recreation Department. Township will receive funding from the Canada Summer Jobs Program to help fund these positions. Outdoor washrooms are scheduled to be open sometime around the beginning of May. We'll get those are on the priority list for the first week of May. On May 1st, we'll be moving to summer hours at the Bill Gates Recreation Center for residents to access the walking track outside of the Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. A walking track membership must be purchased. The cost of these memberships remains at $25 for the initial membership and $10 for each family member. And this would allow access to the walking track from 5 a.m. till 11 p.m. 7 days a week. The summer recreation administration desk hours will change as of May 1st as well. On Mondays, the desk will be open 8:30 to 5 p.m. Tuesdays to Thursdays, 8:30 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Fridays, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. The building hours will be Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. And these are the hours the front door will be open to the public to the facility. There will be other times depending on bookings and where the hours may be extended. That's all I have for tonight.
Okay. Any questions for the director? No, seeing none, then we will move to Road and Bridge. Councillor, no. Planning and Development, Councillor Brick.
Does the director have an
I'm
update?
gonna get these tomorrow, new ones.
Would love to share a director's update with council tonight, if I may. Just 3 items on the agenda tonight. Staff in the township's planning consultant GSP group, you may remember, have completed preliminary conceptual options for the Wellesley Arena and Community Center lands. So those have been prepared. They're going to be presented to you, as at the same time it will be presented to the public, and that'll be on the council meeting on May the 12th. So next council meeting. Following that, we'll open the public engagement phase on those concepts. And that'll start the next day on May 13th. It'll be through an online engagement on our Engage Wellesley page. But also 2 in-person open houses, one May 19th in Wellesley and one May 21st in St. Clements. And those are have been advertised already in the newspapers. We'll continue to advertise them on social media and on the websites. Community groups and residents who were previously involved in the project or had attended an open house last year, they've also been notified and invited to participate by direct email. So they'll continue to be updated of the people we had emails for. So that's the first update. Second update on the Mannheim service area water capacity and allocation issues. We've been continuing to participate in regional working groups addressing the Mannheim service area water capacity constraint as our time permits. As you know, we're not directly involved, but we certainly have an interest in it. Recent work has included the development of a draft water allocation policy, clarifying the region's role in assigning capacity as well as area municipalities' roles in allocating capacity to specific developments. So they're kind of developing a sort of a hierarchy as to how they're going to do that. And of course, updates have also been provided to the development community through various meetings and workshops. There's lots of meetings going on. They're working on it quite closely, and we're attending as we can, but obviously we want to prioritize our work in the township before we attend those meetings, but we are keeping an eye on it. And lastly, the official plan review. It continues to move forward. We have a pretty ambitious timeline. We're still targeting kind of a late June, early July target to bring it to you for consideration. The draft official plan is out there now. It's on the website. It's been circulated to agencies, First Nations, the region. It's also available on the Engage page. We've emailed it directly to people who have expressed an interest in it or attended one of the meetings last year. And we also have a slew of public engagement on it, well over and above what the Planning Act requires us to do. We've got 3 in-person engagements coming up. A community engagement meeting, May 13th, statutory public open house, which is May 27th, and then statutory public meeting, which is on June 18th. So 3 in-person opportunities for people to come and share their thoughts, as well as we're open to email or comments on the Engage page at any time, really. So lots of ways to provide your 2 cents. Yeah, I think that's about it for tonight. Thanks, Councilor Brick. Unless I have any questions.
Are there any questions? Seeing none, back to the mayor.
Okay, Councilor Herget, Road and Bridge.
Thank you, Mayor Nowak. R&B 6/2026 asphalt paving tender, contract number 2026-06. Recommendation that the Council of the Township of Wellesley approve the award of contract number 2026-06 for the asphalt paving tender to Brantco Construction for a total tender amount of $929,570.50 plus applicable HST. And further, that council approve $124,730.70 in addition to the approved budget amount to be funded from the infrastructure reserve toward the asphalt paving contract number 2026-06 in full. And further, that the mayor and clerk be authorized to execute the contract. Can I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councilor Brick, seconded Councilor Seven. Does the director have an update on this?
Yes, thanks, Councilor Herget. So the asphalt tender is a group of projects, small individual projects that we put together, usually annually, unless we have large reconstruction projects on the go, like Queensbush Road or something like that. So all of the projects within were presented at this year's budget presentations back in November. One notable exception is just the scope of work changing on the 2 blocks of Hessenstrasse. It was originally planned to be just a 40 millimeter overlay, which we've used many times in the township. And we've replaced that with a full depth cold in place recycling process. We did that because in consultation with our engineers, they looked at their road, they drove it, they kind of did a quick assessment and determined that an overlay wouldn't be very effective rehabilitation for these sections of road based on the surface fatigue cracking that was present. And they mentioned that it would be an excellent site or an excellent candidate for the CIP process, cold in place process. The benefits of going cold in place recycling are significant, both in the longevity, cost efficiency, and environmentally. The process grinds the full depth of the asphalt, which eliminates any of the current cracking and reapplies 100% of that recycled asphalt with new emulsion binder, and then is compacted just like new asphalt. It's then overlaid with a lift of hot asphalt to cap it. The entire asphalt structure is now brand new and free of cracks, so it eliminates those existing cracks from reflecting through. I'm asking for additional $125,000 above what was budgeted to do this full depth rehabilitation. I believe it's a very good use of the additional funds. It's a very good cost-effective way to rehabilitate this section of road. And that $125,000, I believe, is also made possible by the several other projects this year that have been awarded well under the proposed budget in the two bridge tenders that we've had. So that's all I have, unless you have questions.
Thank you. Any questions for the director? Councilor Brick?
I just have one question, but I think you answered it. So with the cold in place, it does get a final cap on top. So that's a little
correct, yeah.
different than, do we have any roads that we've done that on as
So
an
the-
example?
The cold in place process will be new to us.
Okay.
We haven't used it here in the past. It is a very well-known and well-used process all over the province. Like I said, we haven't used it yet. This will be our first go at it, but having the engineers that we spoke to, the one engineer is so expert in this process. He's done it for a lot of years, and he used to work in the private sector doing this exact work. He said that because he said this is a perfect site for this kind of process, but he said that where people miss on using the CIP is that cap of asphalt. Some people either choose not to do it, and then the surface deteriorates very quickly, or they do it too late. So there's a timing thing involved there too, which we included all of that in the tender. So
Yeah, I think our neighbors in Wilmot use the cold in place, but they don't cap it. And I don't know that they're getting the best results from my personal opinion. So
agreed. And he strongly recommended making sure we put that 40 mil cap of new hot asphalt on top just to cap it and seal it.
okay, thank you.
Mayor Noah?
Going forward, are there other areas within the township where this same process could apply? Are you looking forward to asset management plan?
Very much so. Yep, absolutely. So this will be the first time, like we said, this will be the first time that we've tried this process. If it works well, it is a cost-effective and environmentally friendly way to go because we're recycling all of the material. And yeah, there's certainly benefits basically everywhere that on our rural sections of road. So not in town on our urban sections, because it's a long train of equipment that they use for this, as you can imagine, with the grinding and the adding emulsion to it and packing it and all that kind of stuff. So it's a long train. They recommend approximately 5-kilometer stretches as minimums. So obviously nothing in town meets that, but our rural paved blocks do if we do 2 to 3 of them at the same time. And if this process works well, I was just talking to Ethan, our asset management technician there the other day, about potentially working this into our asset management plan and rehabilitating full long stretches of road altogether using this process if it works well.
Do you have any idea if does the region use this process at all, or have you?
I believe that they have used it before. I don't know how prevalent it is with the region. I haven't spoken to them yet about test sites or anything that they've done.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be nice to drive over one if you know of one, but that's fine.
I think Turget Road north of St. Clements was that type
I
of process?
believe you're right, but I think that that was an area that they didn't cap it. I think that was just a straight cold in place and they didn't put that 40 mil new asphalt cap on top.
I thought they did put new asphalt on.
Again, I'm not 100% sure. That's why I didn't bring that one up, but I'll have to check with them.
Okay, any more questions? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor? And that's carried unanimous. Does the director have an update?
Yes, thank you, Councilor Hargett. Quick update today. The reduced load season, which started on May 1st, ends tomorrow. Sorry, did I say May? Ends, it started March 1st, ends not tomorrow, sorry, on Thursday. The transportation master plan presentation to council, I have planned for May 26th. So the next one of these committee meetings, we will see that presented. The REAP-led tree planting initiative is ongoing and is going very well. Our plow damage from our topsoil repairs from our plow damage is just getting started. We were just finally able to get some dry topsoil. It's been a very wet spring, as you can imagine. So that's just started. Street sweeping is ongoing. Our first big tender that we awarded this year is going to be starting on next week, which is Bridge 1 on Road 116. So they're doing a rehabilitation up there. So you'll see some signage and some social media posts about that. And then finally, we're just gearing up for all those big projects to get going, graveling, dust control. We have a pretty busy summer full of construction projects. So.
Well, thank you. Any questions for the director? Okay.
Okay, property and fire, Councilor Stepp.
Thanks, Mayor Nowak. Chief Redmond, do you have a report for us?
Thank you. Councilor 7, I've got a quick one for you. Next week, or May 3rd, is the start of emergency preparedness week. So obviously it's not a huge program here in Wellesley, but the region will be doing a joint media release with them. So that'll be on our social media websites. You'll see that coming up through the week. And then secondly, starting next week, actually more than likely the week, probably more towards mid-May, we have, remember last year, we went training wise for our medical directives to work with CPR, which is the Center for Paramedic Education and Research. So they oversee all the paramedics in Waterloo region, and now we've been working with them. So basically it's a quality assurance. They read our medical reports. They've updated our training, and the goal was to get to being able to deliver naloxone and epi. So we have done that, and our last station is going through with that. The supplies are in, and we expect that to be actually on the trucks, I believe, probably latest mid-May. So it's been a long process, and the firefighters worked very hard for that, but definitely a step up for our community for our response and service level. So that's all I have.
Any questions for Chief Redmond?
Just one, if I may, I just want to call you out for that great performance, with the fire at on Henry Street.
Right.
I wonder if you could give council just a brief recap on
Sure.
what you've learned and you know.
Yeah. It was a busy night. Actually, Councillor Brick was definitely hands-on more than I was. So I got there a little bit late to the show, but we had a little bit earlier a fire call in the Linwood area. So all of our stations had been running and rolling anyway, and I believe he got called off prior to that. So it just, the way fate had it, I believe all the Wellesley station trucks were back at the station and packing in and opening doors. And then we had a call for a fire at the residential housing right in Wellesley, 1115 Henry Street. There's a little mobile scooter, lithium ion battery caught fire, but it got into the roof. Realistically, I mean, had that caught much further, it probably would have created much more difference and been more severe. But the fire trucks were there. They were fully loaded. Everybody was already geared up. And I believe when I went through the timesheets, the time from the call coming in, the fire having agent applied was under 6 minutes. I think it was pretty spectacular. They got that knocked down, and coming in, I think there was still quite a bit of damage done. When Mars there, they've got to have tear a bunch out, but we were a little nervous at a point that we thought we'd have to move people out and rehome them for a little bit, but the region came out with all their resources. We had a bus there for residents, and the fire department did a great job. It was just fantastic. They got that knocked down quickly, and I believe one residence was displaced just from some water damage, but everybody else got back in. So it was a pretty spectacular event. I did well.
I followed. Well, we kept in touch through the whole process there. I think Rick was involved in that as well. So I just thought it was really well done, and I hope your folks are aware that they're appreciated.
We've let them know. Thank you.
Except for where are we? Admin and finance. Do we have a director's report?
Yes, thanks, Mayor Nowak. I do have a few updates for today. The 2025 year-end audit is progressing as planned. Communication with the township auditors confirms that timelines remain on track and that information is being provided as needed. No material issues have been identified at this stage in the audit, and we are anticipating draft financial statements by May 8th. Staff have received the final draft of the 2026 Asset Management Progress Report from the township's consultant, and we're completing our own internal review. The report includes updated analysis of the capital funding levels, and staff comments are being consolidated right now with the intent of finalizing the document for submission and future council reporting. And we're aiming for May 12th for that date to bring it to council. Still on the asset front, so staff are reflecting updated asset values from the asset management progress report in a revised current replacement value submission to the Ministry of Infrastructure. And these current replacement value figures are primarily used in the calculation of funding allocations for the Ontario Community Infrastructure Fund, so the OCIF. A couple more updates. Tax due date is the last business day of April. So that's this Thursday. New this year, residents can pay their tax bills online using their Visa or MasterCard. So that is new. All details and links to the portal are online at the township website. And finally, a clerk's update. So 2026, the 2026 municipal election nomination period opens Friday, May 1st and closes Friday, August 21st. And more information is available on the township website. So that's it for me today. Take any questions if there are any.
Questions? Okay, thank you for your report. Thank you. Moving on, for information package, I don't think we have anything. I'm going to bring up two items here, I think, right now. The ANOVA AGM is scheduled for May 13th. All council is are invited to come to this. I don't know whether you've been before. This one's going to be at the Puttycomb House, and breakfast is served. I think it starts at 8, but there is an invite that the clerk will send out to each of you if you want to. If you can make it, you just have to fill out the, what do you call it, Everbright invite, Eventbrite, not Everbright. So that's one thing. And the other thing I just wanted to point out too is the Taste of Cultural event that's coming on the 23rd. That sounds like a great time. There's going to be some good music. And I think there's 4 different food trucks that are going to be there. It's going to be a community event. So I think it certainly worthwhile to get there if you can make it. So anyway, those are things. Any questions on those? Oh, okay. No unfinished business. Next meeting, May 12th, 2026, council meeting. Maybe the whole meeting, May 26th, 2026, council meeting, June 9th, 2026. I don't know how we're going to be able to adjourn. Our formal adjourn person isn't here. Councillor Stebbin, would you do that? Yeah. All in favor? and that's carried.